hello there, bubble butts. Today I'm making a soap I've called the Blue Meanie, mostly because, well, it has blue and it really didn't behave. I'm using yellow iron oxide from Mad Micas. I'm also using pewter silver mica from Brambleberry. Beautiful silver color if you're looking for a good mica. And I'm also using titanium dioxide and I believe, blue tide. Beautiful blue. I love that blue. It's gorgeous. It just, the soap gave me fits. I did it wrong. I did it wrong again. I'm using this Earl Grey tea scent. I think I've said this before multiple times. Does not smell anything to me like Earl Grey tea, but it is a really nice, fresh, slightly floral, but kind of more outdoorsy than anything else scent. It's not super floral, and it doesn't really speed up trace like a floral would, although you wouldn't know it from this video because I have a little bit of a problem. I'm also using my favorite Brambleberry mold, but I've also purchased their dividers. I have dividers and a smaller mold, but it didn't quite make me the right size of soap bar. This one makes much more standard size. So I went ahead and splurged on buying Brambleberry's dividers, which works really well. They don't fit super, super tight, which is both good and bad, right? So the bad part is the soap can flow under it. The good part is they come out of the mold really easily and you're not struggling to get them out. So for this soap, I was trying to do a Taiwan swirl. So that's with the dividers, and then when you take the dividers out, you swirl the soap kind of back and forth, and it makes a really pretty pattern, and then you have to cut it a little bit differently. But true to form, I really had an issue with this one because, well, you'll see. But after my honey soap, I did make sure that I was soaping at temperatures that were a little closer together. So my oils are about 118. That lye is at 116. Ignore the fact that I didn't have gloves on when I opened my lye. I totally forgot. I tend to take gloves off while I'm waiting for my lye to cool because my hands sweat in my gloves and then I get grossed out. So I usually take them off and then put them back on right before I open it, and I forgot. But I did put them on before I mixed anything. Don't judge me. And again, do as I say, not as I do. Wear protective gear whenever you're making soap. I mean, I am wearing it now, but don't screw up, okay? But yeah, I have a little bit of a problem. Not necessarily accelerate. Well, you'll see what happens. But first I've got to mix this lye into my base oils here. And I'm going to take it just to emulsion because I want this really fluid for my swirl. Doesn't really happen that way, but you know, we make it work. I was doing this all well. My mom was there, but I made it work, okay? This was another, she wanted me to do another Taiwan swirl. She loves these, and she picked the colors and the fragrance, I think. I gave her a couple choices, and this is what she went with. So I'm hoping that these will sell a little better than my last couple swirls did. I don't know why. I think I've had people say, you know, oh, it's too pretty to use. My philosophy on that is this. There's no such thing as soap that's too pretty to use because there are so many soap makers out there, myself included, always making soap. You can always get more. So don't be afraid to use that really pretty soap or that really nice smelling soap. If you loved it, let that soap maker know and tell them if they make it again, you'll buy more and go buy more when you're out. Because then you'll always have a beautiful soap and you'll always, you know, you'll always be supporting that small business owner. That's my philosophy. But also you can have one really pretty one that you put out when you have guests over, right? And then buy the same one for yourself to use too. Like you don't have to save the good soap for the guests, right? You don't have to save the good underwear for date night. You don't have to save, you know, your good shoes for date night. Like, come on, wear the good stuff, use the good stuff, treat yourself. It's 2021 for crying out loud. We've had a crappy year. Like, you know, make it worth your while to get out of bed in the morning. That's what I say. So yeah, I'm going to split this off into 4 even batches. That's why I'm weighing it. I want to make sure that I get that out into that. It's about 12 ounces a piece for this. And here is the one that ends up giving me so much trouble. Girl, why'd you do it this way? Why? And and again, it's the combination. It's the fragrance and it's that titanium dioxide. I know better. Add, but you have to kind of add your fragrance at the same time when you do a swirl like this because you're pouring it in at essentially the same time. I should have just probably worked a little quicker. But best laid plans, right? of mice men and soap makers. I just love this part. I don't know why. When I'm putting this in and then you mix it and you get to see the color come through, for some reason that's just one of my favorite parts. I really like this yellow oxide too. It looks so mustardy. It doesn't quite set up quite that mustardy. It's a little more, well, it is kind of a golden yellow, but it's really pretty. And I like that because so many yellows are too light. They tend to just kind of fade into the soap itself. And I like how bold this one is. But because it's an oxide, it has to be mixed really, really, really well. And I noticed when I cut this one, there was still a few little spots of the colorant, like the still undissolved in it. So I'm going to go ahead and add all this fragrance. I took the time to frickin' measure it out, which I shouldn't have done. I should have just gone ahead and done it because I think this cost me a little bit of time also. And I should have waited to pour into the white portion until I was ready to pour. You'll see why in a minute. Because this didn't really accelerate for me. So I don't think it was the fragrance. I think it was straight up me using titanium dioxide, and it just thickened up faster than everything else. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. It isn't fun. I need a white spatula. All I've got is this pink one, and I always use it for my white. And then I've got a purple that I use for gray. Like, I need a gray one. I need a gray spatula. Look at how pretty that gray is, though. It's very similar to Gray Satin Pillowcase from Mad Micas. It's a little tiny, tiny bit darker, but not by a whole bunch. I wouldn't necessarily buy both again. I'd probably pick one or the other, but they're very similar colors. Look at how pretty that is, though. Ugh. And there's my white. And I didn't even really have any problem with that getting dissolved in there because I have water dispersible titanium dioxide. So but I stirred it, more just to get it really blended in. I didn't stick blend it, so I did, however, fling it across the table. And then when I realized I didn't need to stick blend it, I put my stick blender away with the rest of the dishes. So I wouldn't be tempted. Because I was like, this can't set up faster than it did anyway. Like I said, I should have just worked faster. I want to watch the white this whole time and be like, did that set up like super fast? Because you can see it's still really fluid. You can see it wiggling every time I bump the table. My soap studio is carpeted, so the table wobbles just a little. So I'm holding down the frame here with the dividers because it will float up. It's not tight to the container. So I do this so that I don't get a lot of spillage underneath. You still might get a little, but it wouldn't be as noticeable with this. I also remembered this time to use my long pitchers. My mom also pointed out that what I needed to do was turn the pitcher the other way. Why would I listen to my mom? I don't know. Probably because she's been on this planet longer and knows some things. And there you can see it's already starting to thicken up. It's already thicker than the other ones. Just you wait. Makes me want to sing from My Fair Lady. Just you wait, Henry Higgins. Just you wait. Look at how pretty that blue is, though. Actually, I just did another soap with that color in it. I made a new kitty soap. I didn't film that because I just did a triple batch video on how I do 3 batches of the kitty soaps at once. You can check that out if you want on my channel. But I will maybe throw in a video of me cutting it because I love cut. Oh, hey, I spilled and I bumped it again. Ooh, talent, Carrie, talent. But yeah, I'll probably put a quick video of me cutting them because cutting the kitty soaps is fun. And then look at how much thicker this is the second time I go to pour it. Ugh. And it just gets worse from here, folks. So at this point, I've got enough soap in there that I could just go ahead and pour it. And also, I remember very clearly when I did this, I was like, crap, I gotta go. This thing's thickening up. So I went ahead and just poured what I could and handed the pitchers off to my mom so she could use any excess I had to fill in a little mold I had off to the side. Because this batch size perfectly fits inside this mold, but with those dividers, it displaces some of the batter. So anytime you're using dividers or embeds or anything, it will displace your batter, so you won't need quite as much as you normally do. I personally didn't feel like doing the math to figure out how much less I was going to need because I give away little sample pieces. So I just went ahead and got out a mold to do some samples. So if you want a sample from this batch, let me know. Place an order and I'll let you pick your sample. You'd be like, give me a sample from that, what did I call this? The Blue Meanie? I'm like, sure, you can have one of them. It was really cute. My mom went ahead and did them. I made it like a little mini loaf, basically, and my mom did a drop swirl with it. It was so cute. And look how thick she is. She thick. Good gravy, girl. Look at how thick it is. That is like going into a thick trace. That is a hot, stinky mess. And wait till you see me try to swirl it. Look at how fluid the gray is, though. Like, unreal. Like, I can see that speeding it up just a little bit, but this is just ridiculous. I mean, come on. That's like water. And the white section is like pudding. Soap making, am I right? But so if you go back and you watch some of my other videos where I did a swirl like this, you'll see the difference in how these dividers come out and how easy these just slide right out. My other ones I had to grip with a dry paper towel to get them out, and these just slid right on out. So that part was nice. So I will say, for that reason alone, for the fact that it fits this mold and they're easier to get out, I would say that Brambleberry's price on these is worth it if you like this mold. And you get to see the top of my ratty hair. Got a headband on, it's all pulled back, but it looks really a hot mess from behind. And you can see how that divider leaves that really nice. I did get a little bit of blue in it, but that doesn't really matter. I should have just gone ahead and pulled it straight up, but you know me, I can't stand wasting soap. What's funny about that is look at how pink my hair looks. My hair's actually lavender, but as it fades, it goes pink because I've got a lot of orange under my hair. But I just fixed it. It's very lavender right now. It's very cute, if I do say so myself. All right, so that's the dividers. I got to get those side ones out yet. But look, made pretty good clean lines except for where the white is. The white's a little, well, it's misbehaving. Not a fan. Not a fan of the misbehaving. The one thing missing from my little mini soaping studio that I have is a sink. I wish I had one in here. But I got one in the, there's a bathroom right outside, so it's okay. So yeah, now I've got to try to swirl this-ish. Well, here we go, folks. Are you ready? You're not ready. Look at how clumpy it is. Oh my gosh. Oh, it looks even worse on film. Actually, I like the way this looks like little leaves at first, but then when I go to move it, it's still so fluid that it kind of moves it out of this. And then I'm like trying to get it off the edges here, and it really didn't do much because it's so fluid, like so fluid. So I like that it looks like little leaves on a vine kind of here. But then I go to move it and put it in the frame so it doesn't bow out. And I bump it, and I change the shape of it just a little. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. But here you go. Look, let's take a look. And just like that, the table's a little cleaner. And you will see here when I go to move it that it just bumps it all around. And you'll see it more in the cut too. But look, oh yeah, there it goes. You can just kind of see there in the corner I lost my little leaf shapes and they turned into weird blobs. Yep, I did that. That was me. So I'm going to go ahead and cover it just to try to prevent as much soda ash as I can because I'm going to cut it with that top being the front of the soap. So yeah, you can see the little spots there from that not being dissolved completely. It's all right. Like the bottom looks like how it was supposed to. Well, what are you going to do, you know? Things don't turn out like you hope. So you'll notice here too, look, see, you can see the little samples off to the side with the drop swirl. Aren't those cute? My mom did that. She was so excited. She's like, "Do I know how to do a drop swirl?" I was like, "Yes, you've done them several times." She's silly. So I'm just measuring this out here to figure out where I'm going to cut it. And I decided that I could do 3-inch bars, and they'd be roughly the same size as my other sizes of bars. But I do have to cut it differently. So you'll notice I don't have my multi-bar cutter out here. I have my trusty, handy-dandy old cheese slicer so that I can cut these the right way. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler here to mark where I want to cut it. And again, I'm doing, I think it's like 2 3/4 or something, exact measurement. I don't know. We're not going to worry about that too much. Maybe we can see it. Can we see it? Yeah, I'm doing 2.5. Yeah, so 2.5. That gets me, 4 bars across and then 2 deep. I get 8 bars out of this. Yep, so I'm just marking it so I know where to slice. Like I said, I use the wax paper. Hey, there's my head again. I use the wax paper to keep from getting a bunch of little soap scraps on the table because they're a little harder to get off. My hair looks crazy. It's tied back though. So weird. So yeah, first I've got to cut these into the bar size, the bar width, and then I will cut them down the middle to make 1-inch thick bars. This is me making sure it was straight. I had to take a sneak peek at it to see what it looked like. I actually am not upset with how these came out. I really do like them. And they're a good, nice size bar. So hopefully I'll sell a few of them. But yeah, that's the back side. It's really interesting the way how different the swirls look. So I'm just double checking to make sure that I can cut these 1 inch and don't have to go any bigger. And they're exactly 2 inches thick, so I can do 1 inch. And I'm going to mark it because even though I have those lines on my cutter, it helps me to get the wire in the right place to have a mark on the edge of it like that. And I'm literally just pressing that palette knife just barely into it. Yeah, you can kind of see that little nick I put in it. This really does help though. So if you're ever cutting something horizontally rather than vertically, which is what I'm doing here, it does help if you're using a single cutter to kind of guide this, if you don't have guides on it. Now I drew those lines on there 1 inch and 1/2 inch increments, but they're a little crooked, don't tell anybody. And so if I'm not careful, I will cut it crooked. So I probably should just buy another one. They're so inexpensive and get them straight this time, but who wants to spend more money? And it's wasteful. And there she is. Look how cute, though. I mean, as clumpy as that looked, see, the top of it still looks really clumpy. I think if I plane that off, it'll be a little prettier. But I actually really liked the weird, wonky way that swirl came out. I mean, it's different, for sure. I mean, no one else will have soap like that. I mean, it's unique. That's all I'm saying. And the colors work. I love a gold with a blue and a gold with a gray. Like those are some of my faves. I love how weird and squiggly it looks, like a spooky kind of tree. That would be a fun one maybe to do for like a Halloween kind of thing if you did those in dark colors like purple and black, and that could be fun. I'm trying to plan out my Halloween stuff now. But next up, I think I'm going to make some Pride soaps. I am part of the queer community and I like to support my queer brothers and sisters. So I'm thinking I'm going to make a trans pride, a bi pride, a rainbow one, obviously. And then I'll kind of find out what other people are looking for, because I know other groups are overlooked and would probably like to have a soap that reflected their identity. So I think I'll do that. So let me know if you or someone you love identifies as part of the LGBTQIA plus community, and you'd like a Pride soap for the month of June, let me know. I will be happy to make it. I can also do custom orders, so hit me up. But yeah, that is the Blue Meanie. I'm going to clean it up and get it photographed, and you'll get to see it in 3, 2. Hey, it's me again. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. I've also got a Patreon now if you're interested in supporting me but really can't find any more room in your house for more soap. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Gilded Bubble, and I'm at thegildedbubble.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I want to give a huge shout out to my very first patron, Heidi. Heidi, you rock. You're awesome. I love you. Your gifts are in the mail.